Hello, everyone. This is Júlio Vietas speaking. Thank you very much for being here with us. We are about to get started. We're just waiting for some public announcements by Vinicius Tavares. So hello, Vinicius.
Hello, Julio. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're about to have a great session with Talita on using authentic resources online. I'd kindly remind you to please, first, if you want a certificate, make sure you click this link here on the chat box for everybody with your impressions so that you can get a certificate by the end of the week. I guarantee we will issue them. Please type your name as you want it to appear in the certificate and your name and your email, okay? We are having a Telegram group for the webinar news and reminders, and this is the link right here. So feel free to join us. WhatsApp group won't be used as of tomorrow, okay, which is our last webinar in this beautiful online teaching webinar week organized by Júlio Vietas. And we're also live on YouTube. All the other videos are there too. Cecilia Nobres is going to be uploaded still, and many more will be available to you from past webinars we had in the second semester of 2019. In this session, I would ask you to maintain the chat box for any interaction you want, any comments, any answers to Talita's questions. And if you have specific questions for Talita, please use this Q&A button somewhere below here, okay? So again, questions, go to the chat, go to Q&A, try to be as specific as you can, and any other interaction form can be in the chat box. And I think that's it, Julio. Take it away.
Thank you very much,
with
Vinicius.
Talita. Good luck and good webinar too.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vinicius. So before we get started, for the audience now, could you please write in the comments below where you're based right now? I mean, we have had people from all over Brazil and many other countries, such as the US, Iran, and Japan. We had people from Russia. So it's incredible to see the range of these webinar, this sequence, this series of webinars. Yeah, people from the United States, Brasilia, Petrópolis, Belo Horizonte, Rio, São Paulo, Santa Catarina, beautiful Santa Catarina, Portugal, love Lisbon, love Portugal, almost there. Salto, São Paulo, Rio, Seattle. Wow, yeah, that's Talita. Lisbon again. Well, that's incredible. So thank you very much for being here with us. And I have the pleasure and honor to introduce to you Talita Rochetti. She has been an English teacher for 10 plus years and working online from different places in South and North America since 2014. And she believes that focusing on learning experience and working with flexibility are the key elements for successful online education. She lives in the US, but she has students in both the United States and other countries as well. So Talita, thank you very much for accepting our invitation.
Oh, it's an honor to be here. Thank you, Julio. Thank you, Vinicius, and all the BRAZ-TESOL crew. You guys have been doing an amazing job, and I'm really happy to be here today. I hope I can contribute a little bit. Today we are gonna talk about some resources you guys can use online. So what I use this? Well, I've been teaching many people from many places, immigrants, and I think people need some authentic conversation, and this is what I've been trying to promote nowadays. And this is what I want to show how I do it. So some of the, let me see if I can open the presentation here. Okay, so some of the resources that I use, like Google is excellent. You can do so many things with Google. You can use social media because it's a tool that everybody knows how to use. And well, I'll bring up some conversation topics that you can explore using those tools, right? So we've got Google search. You can search anything that you don't know, vocabulary, places, images, news. Actually, if you check well, I love talking about food, but when you type something on Google search bar, you can see that there are all the results, but you can also filter locations, images. I don't know if you see my mouse, but let me try to. Can I get the search? Oh, guys, I need your help. I want to have the tools. I can access the tools, maybe.
What do you need, Talita?
The tools to point, like the pointer. Let me see.
We can see your cursor.
You can? Okay. All right.
Yes,
all right.
absolutely.
Okay. All right. Okay. So then let's use this one then. All right. I'm a bit nervous. Sorry, it's my first time. So
Don't be nervous. You're doing a great job.
Okay. So yeah, we've got. Let me see. Okay. So you can. I mean, something that I like to do instead of using Google Translate is to use images. You can search for news and shopping if you have a student that's planning to go abroad and they are planning a shopping list. You can come up with some ideas here, videos, books, flights, finance. So probably you don't use those, all of them, but you get an idea of what you can do. This is Google Images. It's beautiful. It works like a charm. If you don't want to speak English, if you don't want to speak Portuguese, and you want to show like a concept of an object or something that is very visual, usually Google come up with nice pictures, and it even has some suggestions of like cartoons or green or fruit or related vocabulary that can be useful in your lesson as well. We've got Google News that you can search for. I also put avocado. I don't want to put a lot of COVID news here, so I try to find something neutral just to release the tension. So you can find some, if you have business students, you can get news on finances or some things that are going on in the market, in the business management, trends. Also, you can find books, you can find book reviews, short texts that you can read with them and you can discuss, get opinions. Or even when you are catching up in the beginning of the session, what have you been doing? Sometimes they tell you they are reading a new book. Then you just can come here and check, see the book cover, and they feel so engaged when, this is the one that I'm reading, and they get super excited. So you can get a nice conversation from there. Also, you can use Google as an online dictionary. You can find collocations. For example, here there is this word success, and there is also some suggested like a chunk financial success, and you can click there and you can see pictures, news, things related to this expression. You can check for how do you say pronunciation. Sometimes if there is a word, but it's also the name of a company, it comes up on the right side, and then you can see books that are related to this topic. I took a lot of screenshots because I think it's easier than sharing my screen. Sometimes the internet's not so good. So also you can do some pronunciation practice, and I absolutely love that. You can see how, they don't use the international, but it's a very handy way for the students to read how to pronounce words. It's not as Brazilians would do, but you can keep practicing with your learners and they will eventually learn how to read those. There are some patterns of pronunciation. So this would be like successful. And then you can play it in a slow mode. When you click here on the sound icon, you can have the sound, and there is here on the right, you can see there is a drawing with the shape of the mouth, like pronouncing the word. You can do it slow, and if you click on practice, you can record your voice and Google gives you a feedback. It's really amazing. You guys have to try that. Let me see what else I can show you guys. Google Maps. I love using Google Maps in many different ways. When people come back from vacation, I ask them where they have been, or when it's my first session with them, where are you from? And then they say, oh, I'm from Brazil. I am from Brazil, actually. So you can go on Google Maps and you can search for the city. People get super, it's a very good way to establish a rapport. Students love to talk about themselves, talk about things that are related to their lives. So they're going to be super engaged in talking about their city or their where they come from, if they live in a different place, or if they're traveling. Something wonderful about teaching online is that sometimes your learners have to travel on business or on vacation, but they can still have lessons. And it's when you can talk about some different topics, and that's really amazing. You can bring new, fresh new topics to discussion. Oh, you're in different city now. Where are you now? And then you can check on the map the location. Oh, it's Ribeirão Preto. It's close to São Paulo. Oh, I don't know the city. Let's look it up. And then you guys can talk about that. Here you can see photos. There are some like hotels, some other things related. You can browse there. You can explore. I highly recommend you guys to just try to use these tools by yourself, explore, see what's there and how you can prepare your sessions. Sometimes you can take screenshots and prepare some lessons before. This here, this image on the right is an example of that. You can work with directions. First time I tried to use Google Maps for directions, it was really challenging because the commute for my students, it wasn't even an online lesson. I was like on my students' home with my laptop. And I was like, oh, let's see how is your commute from home to work. And then it was a weird path. He didn't know how to explain. I got confused helping him out. So you can plan this ahead if you want to work with directions. But if you just want to say, oh, how long does it take you to get from home to your job or to school? And then you can see here, it says, oh, it takes 10 minutes by car, or you can check different ways like public transportation, by bike, on foot. So it's a very nice way to explore and see, like sometimes you don't have opportunity to practice those prepositions like by, bike, on, foot, and then you can do that often with your learners. If you're talking about, oh, there is this new bakery opening close to my home, and then you can just go click on photos, check the photos of the bakery or the food they have there, the menu. It's really incredible to work with Google. So I'm not being paid to advertise, but I'm in love with the tools that we have, and they are so simple and so nice to use. So here, when you click on photos of Brasilia, you get beautiful pictures, and you can also get some very nice tool called Google Street View. So when you, well, this is Seattle. I looked it up for Space Needle, which is one of the most famous land, how do you say? Yeah, famous places here. So you can check the directions, you can save this place, you can, I sometimes plan trips with my learners. They are planning, oh, I'm going to Florida, I want to go to Disneyland, I want to find some gluten-free restaurants, I am vegetarian. So we do some things online and it's amazing. They talk a lot, they explain their food restrictions, they explain their preferences, if they're going with the kids, what are their expectations for the trip. And then you can see more information here. There is the website, you can click on the website and see what's there, explore that with your learners. And if you see this very tiny little man here on the bottom right corner, you can just click, hold, and drag to the location you want to go. Actually, I just put it on Space Needle. If you put it on a Space Needle, you're going to see what's inside Space Needle, just being up the tower. And what I recommend you to do is just drag and drop to a street so you can keep exploring places nearby. This is what I did here. You can see Space Needle, you can see the cars and the green area in the surroundings. So you can, for example, if your learner is planning to go somewhere and they don't know the area yet, to say, oh, let's see what's in downtown and let's see what's close to your hotel. And then you just can keep going, see places and ask them to describe the places, describe the weather at the moment of the picture, what else they can see, traffic lights. You can go above and beyond with using this tool. You can explore many different vocabulary. And yeah, well, I recommend you to be creative and try exploring these tools in different ways. Okay. If you like to work with music, I also like to do that. You can type the name of the song and search for lyrics on Google. So this is one lesson that I had with one learner of mine, and she was watching Rock in Rio last year, and she told me, oh, I saw Pink's concert and it was amazing. I didn't know her very well, so I would like to listen to her song and get to know about the lyrics. And then she has chosen this Who Knew, and it's a pretty nice song. Then we checked the lyrics. Actually, we went on YouTube. You can see here's how some other tools that you can use when you're doing a lesson with music, exploring music in a lesson. You can go on YouTube, watch the video clip, or watch some video with the lyrics or without the lyrics. Depending on the student's level, you can even get the translation. She asked me to help her with the translation. She did the translation and she wanted me to check the things she didn't understand. And then we went to lyrics training. I can send you guys these links later. Then she can access on website or through the app. So I went with her on the website. She was listening and typing the words that she was listening. Then we went to the song facts, which is very interesting too. If you have intermediate and up, higher levels of learners, you can check some song facts. There are some shorts, paragraphs telling very interesting things about the songs. I highly recommend you guys to check those resources as well. And before I move on, I'm gonna check if there is something that people are asking. I don't think so, right? Yeah. So moving on, I also like to explore different social media channels. One of them is Twitter. If you have business students, if you have media students, it's very nice to explore what's going on in the world and check trending news. When you go on Twitter, this is basically what you see. And to your right, you're going to see the trending topics. You can see trending hashtags and trending topics. Hashtags are a way, some teachers have already explained. I'm just going to go very briefly on that. You can explore some people just use hashtags so you can put together some topics that people want to talk about. So press briefing, so you're going to find some updates from what's going on in the the most recent news, right? STEM at home order. So everything that is related to that probably is gonna come up on Twitter. If you click on this link, on this hashtag, here there is a teacher that I follow, and she's talking about gamifying your classroom, but you can also find some other things, like this is from Bloomberg. Restaurant workers in New York. Then you can check with your students, what are the topics they want to talk about. And then you can, if you want to prepare a lesson, you can research in advance these topics. You don't need to use hashtags. You can search for keywords. And if you find some hashtags in common, you can click on that and see what comes up. You can also use bookmarks to save some tweets that you find interesting and you want to share later on. And I found very interesting to do these lists. You can, for example, if your learner likes food as well, and then, well, in this case here, I created a list for ESL teachers. So you can add many members, people that you are following or that you're not following. If you want to do a list of companies that they have some topics on management, and you have a student who is a manager in a big company, and you want to curate some companies or some leaders, some people who talk about this topic, you can just do it there. When you click on this list, you're gonna filter and only see tweeters from these people, from these companies, from this, it's gonna filter and it's gonna restrict what you see, instead of seeing all the random tweeters and you have to scroll down and keep looking, or just using the search bar. If you have students that also always talk about food, for example, or always talk about music, you can make a collection of bands or celebrities, and then you just leave it there. Next time you're gonna talk to them, or before you talk to them, you can check some tweets and prepare a lesson, or do it by the time you're having a conversation. And my favorite one is Instagram. So I like Twitter very much, but I really like visuals. Instagram, it has beautiful pictures, has short videos as well. You can explore in many different ways. When students are traveling, you can check out some pictures about the places, or some photos of their cities, or I can show where I am and things related to my city. Sometimes they get curious if you live in a different place. You can on this search bar, you can look for people that you can follow, or you just want to check some content from them, people in companies or institutions. And you can also do hashtags. Here is hashtag Seattle, Washington. So these are some of the results. Then you can click on these images. You can see some short text that's also very easy for them to read, usually very authentic language that they can use. And well, here, if you look for English tips, sometimes you can get some of those posts and send them as a homework, as a task, or just get some of those images and save them. Just get a screenshot, add to your online board, or your if you're doing a PowerPoint presentation, you can get resources from there too. There are some, when you look for hashtags, sometimes there you may find, if there are popular hashtags, you may find some other suggestions, some related hashtags. If you are looking for food, Asian food, or food in Miami, you keep looking and you find many different ways to explore those. For traveling tips, or travel photos, you can find many nice, interesting things. Also, I got the screenshot of Michelle Obama's profile. Then on the top here, I know that most of you are familiar with Instagram, but maybe there is somebody who is not. So some people put here on the highlights the most important videos, posts that they do on stories, mostly. There are Q&A. Sometimes people are asking her questions. When you go on Instagram, they say, oh, ask me a question. And there are some interesting questions you can save. You can also set up your own Instagram and make it ready for students to explore and learn from there. You can post English tips or some interesting things on cultural. If you live in a different, like people in Portugal, people in different cities, you can explore, make short videos around the city or some places that you're visiting, some exhibition that is interesting. And then you just, if your students haven't seen, or if they did see it, you can talk about it anyway. Oh, did you see the exhibition that I've been to? Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, let's check on my highlights here, the cultural tours that I take. And or they say, oh, I have seen it, it was so interesting. Oh, what did you like most about my short video? You can explore many bits of conversation from here. And on Instagram, when you go on somebody profiles page, you can see some videos. If they are short videos up to a minute, they're staying there with this video camera icon. If you can see this other icon, is because they are a bit longer. And then in order to finish watching, you have to go to IGTV. And well, I'm going to show you IGTV very soon. You can also find beautiful quotes with nice images there. And when you click on those images, you see the comments. And sometimes there is how to say, the person who is posting can make a comment, and it's going to be here pinned, so everybody who comes here can see it. And I think it's very short, very nice to explore with learners as well. You can read with them, you can ask them to read, you can practice a little bit of pronunciation, you can ask them their opinion about it, or how they would apply this, in which situation they can apply this, or to whom they would send this quote. And you can make it very interactive, tagging the learner here. Sometimes they answer you and they say, oh, that's nice. Or you can ask them a question on the comments of this post. And that's also a way to practice a little bit of writing. In your next session, you can ask them some questions and keep up with the conversation. And wow, this is a screenshot that I took from Foo Fighters' post. It's actually a video of kids learning how to play. It's so cute. I can send you guys later a link. And you can watch the video with them. If it's a short video, it's going to be nice for them to practice their listening skills and also tell you what they understood, or you can go over some chunks of language together. And yeah, and then IGTV. What can you do with IGTV? If you go, this is Harvard Business Review profile. They have here the highlights. They have here the posts, and then you can see IGTV if they use it. If you don't find this on somebody's profile, it's because they don't have it. But then you can see only videos. Usually, I rarely see videos that are longer than 5 minutes. Sometimes you can find pretty long videos, but mostly they range from 1 to 5 minutes, and you can explore many topics. Well, this is for business English if you want, or even like people who doesn't study business English. You can check some, if you check something in that is interesting, that is inspiring, you can send to them. So what are the types of profiles that you can find on Instagram? You can follow, or you don't need to follow. You can look up for celebrities, local businesses, restaurants, even food trucks. Sometimes they have some Instagram accounts. Popular companies, news channels, travelers, photographers, English teachers, and then you can get some teaching tips. I found something very interesting that some of the Valeria was mentioning somebody these days, and there is this, or Julio was mentioning this. I don't remember her name right now, but she teaches kids. She gives tips on how to teach kids online, and she was showing on her live this profile of how to keep kids busy at home, a lot of activities. They were super creative, amazing. So if you have parents who are your learners and sometimes they say, oh, I cannot study because I have to take care of the kids, maybe you can send them a link and say, oh, keep your kids busy while you can talk. I don't know. You can go, yeah.
Sorry, it was Valéria França.
Valéria França, yes? Yeah, okay, yeah. Some of you has mentioned, I remember. There is so much information in the last 10 days. Many webinars, many people recommending new profiles, and it's been, yeah. It takes some time for us to grasp or to catch up all the information with all the information. But yeah, guys, you can explore Instagram in many different ways. Sometimes, oh yeah, like Pink. I was talking to my learner and she said, oh, I think there is a snippet of her concert on Instagram. So we went on her Instagram account and we saw one of her songs, and then we didn't use in YouTube at first. We went on her Instagram account. Then we watched Pink post on her concert, and then we went to explore the lyrics. On the following session, we went on YouTube and see the lyrics with the video, and then she was singing. They can sing along if they want, or they just can follow the lyric video. Yeah, let me see if there are some people are commenting. Oh, Valeria França, yeah. I didn't check the chat. Let me see if there are some questions that I can. Oh, I cannot answer the questions with my presentation open. Let me see here. Okay, TikTok. This is new. A lot of people still don't understand how it works. It's mostly short videos, many silly videos, many funny videos, and teens and young people love it because it's super fast. And most of them don't have dialogues. You may find dialogues though, so that's why it's important to well, just explore before you start using with learners. But even if you don't have listening skills practice, you can ask them to watch and tell you what they yeah, describe the video, or what they've learned from the video, their opinion on the video, why is it funny. This is the screenshot here on the right side. It's a very cute hamster teaching people how to prevent yourself from getting coronavirus. So it's a cute, they say that there is a song, and there are some snippets of him washing their hands or covering his nose when sneezing. It was super cute. And then you can find some other things, and if you work with teens, that's a very nice way to catch their attention. I haven't explored much, just a little bit, but you can see there is also World Health Organization. We are humanitarians. You can find some serious organizations also advertising things here. You can find also some how do you say, movies, when you have like a movie releases, and you can find trailers here. I saw it the other day. So yeah, you just spend some time exploring and see how useful it can be for you. All right, what else? Let me see. Pinterest is good if you like planning lessons. You can find a lot of classroom management, even for online teaching, and you can find many ideas, recipes, crafts, and vocabulary, grammar, and it's very visual as well. I find it so beautiful to look at those. So you can find many possibilities, many resources. And if you don't want to plan, but if you want to check some idioms related to some topics, like you're talking about music, or you're talking about food, you can find a vocabulary list for food. Here, 10 food idioms. You can find also some other expressions or ways to prepare food, and you can see many pictures, many like drawings, and that's very handy. And I like it a lot. You can pin some messages, so you save them. You can create boards, so you can this is my board for English. I think it's ESL vocabulary, but you can also find some, you can organize the way that works best for you. And when you need to find a grammar, something, or even in a conversation session, you see that your student is struggling with grammar, you can just come up with a board with a quick explanation on grammar and show them and send to them so they can review, send them a link so they can practice at home as a homework. And yeah, you can do many things. If you guys use it in a different way, please share so we can tell people different ways to explore those tools, okay? And I think the last one is gonna be LinkedIn. It's very good, especially if you teach business, if your students want to improve their communication skills for work. This is when you log in, this is how you see it. And here on the right side, you can see some, well, there is a special report on coronavirus now, but you can see today's news and views. So you can check trending news as well. You can check if you already follow some people, you're gonna see some, this is in Portuguese. Oh, something that I was gonna tell you guys very quickly. Sometimes you don't need to use only English resources. Sometimes you can get something that is related to their jobs or to their lives. If it's a very basic student, you can read it. I mean, you don't need to say it in Portuguese. They can read in Portuguese, and you can ask them to summarize or to tell the main idea in English, or tell some adjectives related to what they see, you know. So not necessarily you need, sometimes your student wants to talk about some Brazilian singer. Probably it's going to be, if you go on their profile, it's going to be in Portuguese, but you can say, oh, how did you get to know about him? Or what are your favorite song of this singer? And then you don't always need to use resources in English. You can talk about all of the resources. It doesn't matter the language they are. You can talk about them in English. So that's also something you can do. And sometimes it's comfortable for them, especially immigrants, if they are trying to catch up. You know, it's so overwhelming when you are living in a different country, or when they're visiting and they have to all the time to, you know, failing communication and try to understand. And sometimes they're struggling. Sometimes they need a break, and more, a lot of input in English may be super overwhelming for them. So sometimes they say, oh, you're tired, or sometimes they're super tired. They had a busy day. They're not, you know, in the mood to, you know, read a lot. So you can check something related. Oh, what's going on in your city? Or what are you planning to do this weekend? Oh, I'm going to this exhibition. The exhibition is in Brazil, so it's in Rio. It's going to be in Portuguese, but you can go on the website and you can explore some things there. So you can even get some like something like that. She is telling on how to work from home, and then you can talk to them about that too, even if it's in Portuguese. So if you come to the search bar, you can see this. You can search for people, jobs, content, companies, schools, groups. If you click on content, you can filter. You've got a filter here. Then you can see posted by specific people, the most recent ones posted in the last 24 hours, last week, author industry. So you can see ESL professionals or professionals in marketing, management. And then if you click on all filters, you can see more specific, something posted by yourself, something posted by your first connections, and the author companies. If somebody likes, if you get like Bill Gates that works for Microsoft, you can get Microsoft here, and then you can get narrow down your search. And well, if you go for companies, so you want to search for online teaching companies or people who are talking about that. Oh, you can explore many ways for yourself. Find connections. It's very important to do networking with people, finding people from your industry. Get sometimes some excellent professionals share education and technology topics related to that, and some teaching ideas or some situation with their learners. So you can find them on Facebook as well, or sometimes Instagram. But yeah, LinkedIn is sometimes they post the same thing on different channels, but sometimes you find different content. And you can also find like if you go to somebody's profile, you can get like here are my recent searches and groups, but you can also this is because it's mine, but if you go on this person here, Carolina, and then probably after her work experience and her, like there is a bio description in her work experience, you might find some articles. If she wrote some articles, or if she shared some articles, you might find it there too. So you find a lot of content in different ways, like short text, long text. That's a very nice tool for you guys to explore. And I guess, let me see, this is it. My tips for you guys is like, be flexible. I know for you guys who are who have just started teaching online, or who are going to start teaching online, it can be daunting to catch up with all the information that you guys have been following on the internet, or there are many links, there are many people helping. But the good news is there is more to study than like lacking information. So I think you should be flexible, take your time, explore, be curious, you know, click everywhere that you can and see how people interact, how people use hashtags, how people write their texts, how they use emoticons in their communication, and keep learning. The lifelong learning, I think, is for life, for coronavirus situation, for teaching, for languages. I think we are constantly learning in any aspects of life. So Einstein once said that imagination is more important than knowledge. For knowledge is limited, whereas imagination embraces the entire world, stimulating progress and giving birth to evolution. I completely agree with him. I think, well, you can see like 10 years ago, how would you expect for people to be together if we had this situation a couple of years ago, people would be, uh, well, suffering much more, and like there would be much less opportunities, but we are here, we are together, we are online connected, and this is so amazing. So this is what I have to tell you today. If you want to reach out, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter. I have some boards on Pinterest. I don't post a lot of things on LinkedIn, but I like to share some things that I find interesting here and there. But well, if I connect with people and I know them, I sometimes like to explore and say, oh, you like this? This is something good for you, either for students or for teachers, for colleagues, for friends. So yeah. And the last thing, very quickly, I want to share, I participate in this Women Collab group. We have a Telegram group. It's women in ELT, teachers who are teaching online or not and want to explore ideas, share ideas, and support each other. So if you guys want to join, you can send me a direct message or reach out in any of those channels and talk to me, and then I can tell you more about this project. We are really happy that a lot of women are already there and sharing a lot of ideas, collaborating. And well, I think that's it. Let me see if there are some questions.
Hi, Talita. If you want, I can read the questions for you. But before we go there, I'd like to say thank you again for being here with us. It was very helpful and really enlightening. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. You guys have no idea. I really hope it helps people who need it.
Well, we're always here.
Yeah.
And thank you for being with us. Question number one, how exactly do you use social media on your classes?
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys, I sometimes, for example, I like to have, like, in the beginning of the session, I tell people, hey, how was your day, or how was your week? And then they start telling me about, oh, this week I went to this exhibition, or I went to this restaurant. And then you just can go there and try to find it online and find it on Instagram and see if there are some pictures. If you go on Google, you can find the restaurant link, and then you can click on the menu and people can tell you what they ate. If it's in Portuguese, they can try to explain in English what there was. And then sometimes it's when they need help, but it's when they travel abroad and it's what they mostly struggle with. That's why I like to explore things this way. They come up with something. Oh, I was watching this series on Netflix. Then I go online and I just type the name of the series. Oh, this one. And then they start telling me a brief, something about the plot, about the characters and what they like most about the series. And then it's a very natural way to conduct the conversation. We keep talking, and then, well, if they ask me, oh, I need to paint the walls or I'm gonna refurbish my room, and then we can go on Pinterest, get some ideas, or know, there's so many ways. Guys, use Google first. Google also always has something to show you. And when you search on Google, probably in some of the results, you might find some links that lead you to social media. If you get used to those social media channels, you know where to find things. But that's why I tell you guys, explore and try to find try to find information, and you can save what it's interesting, and that's it.
Great. Question by Carolina Gois. Warm-up in conversation for any level? I mean, how basic students can get a link with it?
Usually nowadays I have more upper, not upper, pre-intermediate and up. But if you want to work with basic students, this is what I tell you again. You can use something that is related to their city, their lives, the restaurants they've been to in Portuguese, and start translating some sentences, some parts of the menu, or you show them some pictures on Instagram, and you can go with describing the pictures, who is in the picture, left and right, and colors, weather. There are many ways to any topics that you find in books. That's some a switch of mindset. So any topics that you find in books, try to go on the books index and think of where you could find this on social media, on Google. If it was better to use Google Images or videos on YouTube, or find short videos on Instagram. That's why I tell you guys to explore.
Good. I'd like to ask, which is this board she's using?
The board, the whiteboard, like this one. Sometimes I write here on the whiteboard. There are some other whiteboards that people use it. I don't use it very often. Sometimes you can write on, you can only share the screen and use the tools on Zoom to write down things on the image or on the text. That's very handy as well. So if you get used to Zoom tools, you can use them with social media, with texts, with anything that you find online.
Great. We have 3 more questions here. How did you use lyrics training? Did you share the link of the website with the students, and she shared her screen with you so that you could see the words she was typing?
That's one way to do it. So lyrics training they can even type, or if they are beginners, there is a multiple choice game, so they can choose. You can share the screen and give them the control. I don't like to do that because sometimes with the lag of the connection, you cannot, it gets weird. So if it works, that's great, but sometimes it doesn't work. So you have to test it. If they are, depending on the student, if they're used to Zoom, if you are good at teaching them how to share their screen, that's very easy. They can do it. You can send them the link on the chat. They can access it. They can share the screen with you, and they can type. Sometimes, well, if you see that your students don't like typing and they prefer conversational, you can ask them to spell the words, and you type for them. So you can explore it in any way that you find it easier, and that your student find it easier. That's the most important.
Next question. Sorry, I think question by Gabriel. Sorry, I think I missed it. When you mentioned Pinterest being useful for classroom management, did you mean we can find ideas for classroom management there, or that we can use Pinterest as a tool for classroom management?
Oh, you can find tips there. You can find like teaching tips for online teaching, classroom management. And probably they're gonna send you those links of places of online tools that you can use for classroom management, or how to do it online or offline, or with small kids, with adults, with many topics. Guys, just go there. I keep telling this, but because I spend a lot of time, I don't know if it's healthy or not. I spend a lot of time on social media looking for different ways to explore those tools. And again, if you guys find different ways to explore it, please share with me. I would love to learn. And I think sharing is caring. It's what we're doing here. If you guys can share, we can spread the love. That's going to be great.
Good. Last question. What was the social media mentioned before Pinterest?
TikTok, I guess. Let me just make sure. Yes, TikTok, which is, well, it's pretty new. Not many people use it, but it's basically, it reminds of stories, you know, it's like stories. They're very short videos, but people speak less, almost no text. So that's why teens like it a lot. If they're super lazy, they don't need to think a lot. They don't need to read a lot. So usually the text description is at the bottom with the video, with one or two hashtags, or sometimes they mention someone and they have like 2 lines of text. And sometimes you can find makeup tutorials, you can find recipes, you can find celebrities dancing or making jokes, or, you know, showing their kids, pets, and people doing crazy stuff. You can find a lot of crazy stuff there, but you can find useful things too. Some people like crazy stuff, not judging, but you can find all sorts of things, and mostly they like the most trending topics are funny videos and fun videos, people dancing, people doing something that is funny or fun. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Talita. Well, that's all we have time for. So again, thank you very much for being here with us. And this is just a quick reminder that tomorrow we are going to have Ellen Aga talking about bringing English as a lingua franca into online classes. This is a topic I will never miss. I really want you to delve into that. So I urge you to be here with me tomorrow at 3 p.m. So thank you again, Talita. Thank you all, and see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.